Isn't every day a davening?
No. Don't ask the question if you don't want the answer. All right. You know, there's I spoke about this. This custom. People say you learn Pirkei Avos during these weeks, summer weeks. Some people learn it during Sfira, other people also learn it longer than that. I'm going to tell you an interesting thought that I had. The Mishnah says that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had 5 Talmidim. One was Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkanus, one was Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya, one was Rabbi Yossi HaKohen, one was Rabbi Shimon ben Nisano, and one was Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch. That's what the Mishnah says. Then the next Mishnah continues, and it says, he used to speak out, enumerate, count their praises. And he says about the first one that is mentioned, Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkanus. Now, you have to understand this. Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkanus there's like some very famous Gemaras that are written about him. Fascinating things. One of them is that he was known as Rabbi Eliezer. That's what they called him. And Rabbi Eliezer had a whole debate with the other rabbis at the time about a certain halacha, about a, Shmuel would appreciate this, about a certain kind of an oven, if it's a keli or not, and it's broken into pieces and separated, but it was a whole debate. And he says one thing and they said the other thing, and he started saying, I'm going to prove to you that the wall of the base measures will fall down. I'll prove to you from this. I'll prove it. And they said, sorry, that none of these things, just because the wall starts falling down, it shows that you've got all this amazing Shemayim listens to you. Torah is not Shemayim. In the end, they put him in Cherem. It's a very hard to understand situation. But here says Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai about that Talmud, he was a boyer sud she'enoi ma'abed tipa. He said he was like a cistern. It means a water pit that was lined with plaster that never lost a drop. Meaning to say, anything he learned, he kept. He chazed it over. He lined it with plaster. So he chazed it over, and he did not forget one drop. Wow. Then it goes through each one, and it says, Rabbi Shua ben Chananya, praised is the person who gave birth to him. Rabbi Yossi HaKohen, he was a chassid. Shimon ben Nisano, he was a very yorei chet. He was very scared of being over any kind of violating any aveira. And Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch, it says, Kemayon HaMisgaber. Anyone know what a mayon is?
Well,
a spring. Mayon, a spring HaMisgaber that just gets stronger and stronger, meaning more and more and more starts coming out of this spring. It's only getting stronger, not like it runs out of water, it gets dry. Not dry, it gets even more full and flowing with water. So it sounds like he's got this tremendous inner koyach. Now, then it continues and it says, the next mission. If you would take all the chachomim of Klal Yisrael, Kol Chachmei Yisrael, and you put them on one side of a scale, and on the other side of the scale, to balance them out, you put in Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkanus, that first rabbi, who never forgets a single thing. He would outweigh all of them. Can you imagine? Put all the rabbis, and you put this one rabbi on the other side. That rabbi, Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkanus, about whom this whole story happened in the Gemara, with the wall falling down, and he says, let the Abaskals call out, and all these things happen. He says he would outweigh all of them. Then it continues and it says, however, if you would take all the rabbis of Klal Yisrael, and you would take Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkis and put them on that side too, with them, meaning you have all these people, plus someone who's equal to all those people. So now you got double all the people. And you put on the other side Rabbi Eliezer ben Aruch, the one that he said, that last one, who's like a spring that keeps giving. He said he'd outweigh all of them. Wow, pretty intense, huh? Says the next mission. He put them on he gave them a little exercise to do. He says, gentlemen, I want you to go out. That's what it says. Su'u, go out. Ru'u, I want you to go for a little seeking mission. I want you to go look. Ezu hi derech toivash yidbach ba'adam. What is the smartest, the best way that a person should attach themselves to? Meaning, what's the best attitude to follow? So they come back. Remember, the one who doesn't forget anything, he's equal to all the Chachamim. He says, what is the most important thing that a person should follow? Ayin toiva. You have to have a good eye. What is a good eye? Did you ever see baseball? Right? Batters up. Throw. Huh? Yeah, but a ball gets thrown by. It's like this. They go, ball one. They go, good eye, good eye. Right? Don't they say that? Good eye, good eye. Is that what it means?
He's really too scared to swing.
Yeah, that wasn't too scared. These guys, they know when to swing. They have a good eye. They go, you're trying to get me to swing out there and do that. Good eye. Is that what it means? He comes back, he goes, I see, I followed everybody. You have to have a good eye. You think that's what he meant?
No.
No. He wasn't talking about baseball. Good eye. You have to be positive. Wow. You have to have a positive view on life. Look at everything positive. Okay, looks pretty lousy. You have to have a good eye. All right, this is supposed to happen. Huh? Don't look out. You're supposed to say, good eye. Look at everything with a good eye, not with a bad eye, because that's what he's going to say later on. What's the worst thing you could do? Have a bad eye. So, have a good eye. That's when he comes back. They go through the others. One says you're supposed to have a chaver toiv, you have to have a good friend, be a good friend. Another one says shochein toiv, be a good neighbor. What do you think good neighbor means?
State Farm.
Huh?
State Farm.
Be State Farm. Well, what do you think that means? Be a good neighbor.
Lend things.
What?
Lend out.
Lend things. So what do you mean? The best thing to do is to be a lender.
Don't make a war between both of them. Don't make a fight between both of them.
Get along.
You should get along.
Well, by the way, your shout about being a lender is not so far off.
What's
Also,
the difference between a neighbor and a
because
friend?
he says, what's the worst thing you could do
I'll win.
is to lend and not pay back. But he's talking about something different. But a good neighbor. You know, unless you have a neighbor. What?
Someone who watches out for someone.
Someone watches out for somebody. But how about this? Think about yes, Sal.
Treat those near you well.
Treat those near you well. Okay? How about that as a friend? What's the difference between a good friend and a good neighbor?
Look at this. Neighbor is more like you just share a property. You don't want to start fights. You prefer to just get everything along.
See me, the best thing is don't start up with people. That's the thing. The best thing in life, don't start up with people.
People around you.
Try to help them. That's a good neighbor.
You're not friends. You
Tell me, how does that with neighbors? But try this one. Yeah. What do you say? Know how to get along with neighbors? Okay, but remember, he's asking, I want you to go out and find what's the best thing that a person could do? What's the derech toiva? He says, get along with neighbors. Well, then that would be a good cover.
That's a friend, right? Even if it's not.
Okay, even if he's not your friend, so be a good neighbor. But neighbor, I only have to do with these people. Okay, imagine your neighbor every day. You watch, gets up, plays nicely with his kids. He's helping his wife. He gets up every time. Oh, it's almost time for mincha. Quickly gets the family together. They go to mincha. They come back. They eat. They are happy. They're singing. Later on, they have supper outside, and everybody benches out loud. And then you see them that they get up. They go, oh, it's time for my river. They all get up. They get on their hats and jackets and this, that. They go to my river. Then they come back.
Sounds like machines.
Sounds like machines.
A model family.
What would you say your neighbor is?
Good influence.
A good influence. So be a shachein toiv. Be a good influence. Be a good influence. Anybody you're near, be a good influence. However, now comes the last one. Sorry. Then Reb Shimon says, let's see what's going to happen in the future. And then Rabbi Lazar, sorry, by the way, that shachei toiv didn't really go with the lending thing. Sorry, that's different. He says, what's the opposite? Be a bad neighbor. The lender one says, don't lend into it. He says that's the one who says, try to see where things are going to head. Try to see a little bit the future. Now, comes Rabbi Lazar. Rabbi Lazar ben Araf says a fascinating thing. He says, this is the one who you put everybody on one side, and you put on Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkinos on the other side with them, and he'll outweigh them all. What does he say? What is the best way to follow? Leiv toiv, have a good heart. What's the difference between a leiv toiv and an ayin toiv? They both sound pretty positive. Good heart.
If you have a good heart, you'll have good eyes.
If you have a good heart, you'll have good
If
eyes.
you have good eyes, you won't have a bad heart.
Why not? This is what you need to think about. Why is it if you have a good heart, you'll have good eyes, but if you have good eyes, doesn't mean you'll have a good heart? Why? What happens? Where is the heart?
Inside.
Inside. Is it influenced by things outside?
No.
Not necessarily. Eyes. You can cover over the eyes. You're right, they're inside a person. But the whole point of the eyes is to see out. Is everything around. That's the point of the eyes. Heart is for yourself. Heart is if you've got positivity, it's got to come from inside. Not from what you see. Oh, I see good things. Okay, now it influences me to now be positive. He says, and he outweighs everybody. Your heart has to be positive. You have to have positivity inside you. Not just the way you see things, the way you live. Every part of you has got to be positive. Says Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Roya ani es divrei Elazar ben Arach mi divreichem. Sorry, guys. He got it. He's the one. He's right. I see his shot better than all of yours. Shebechlal devarav divreichem. Because, like you said, if you have good eyes, if you have a good heart, you'll have good eyes. If you have a good heart, you'll have this and that. You'll be a good friend. You'll be a good neighbor. Because you're a good heart. It all comes from the good heart. It all comes from inside you. If you are positive inside, not because everyone else around you is positive, this is positive, that's a positive thing. It's got to come from you. Life, many times, is going to be very challenging. Yeah, it's going to be lemons and all kinds of stuff, but it's got to be inside of you, positivity. We can all kvetch, what about him? All those things are outside of you. Positivity has to come inside you. Happiness has to come inside you. It all's got to be in your own heart, in you. Not from everything around you or from what you see or being near people, having friends. Nope. From inside you. And because of that, that's why he was a Mayon HaMisgaber. He was a spring. You know where water comes from in a spring? Inside of it. It just comes. A pit.
Stays where it is.
The water had to come from outside, and it fills up in the pit. Somebody else's Torah comes inside. Not Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch. It came from inside of him. He said, this is that. Oh, that's the thing. Oh, it all came from inside of him. If you have that kind of positivity from inside of you, everything will be like that. You'll get great jobs. You'll get great shidduchim. You'll have lots of friends. You'll have great neighbors. Everything will be great. You'll see life great. But it's got to come from inside you. You have to start off every day and say, I'm going to be positive. Life is great. Thank you. When you start off like that and it's from inside you, you will be super successful. All right, gentlemen, think positive.